It's not something that gets you stuck permanently. But the state you were talking about, what you were talking about sounds more like, it sounds more like a kind of comatose state or something similar to that. And I've never experienced a coma. I don't really know what it's like, but I've got this poem, like I said, and a lot of people who've read it, they said they thought I really pegged it. It sounded very much like a description of someone in a coma. So if you like,
someone in a coma.
Right.
Well, let's see. Let's see if anybody else, because each human's mind is different. I've learned that because the doctors will say they can take people so far that it's up to they can't really say it's up to God, but they, you can tell that's what they mean. That they'll just say each person is different. And they don't know what's going to happen to them. Like they thought my daughter with pneumonia and 105 degree just a few weeks ago was going to die, and they started snoring her out with morphine. It was terrible, and we called in everybody, and then she prayed and brought herself back. So that's what faith can do for you. Yeah. But go ahead, let's hear what you got.
Okay. Encircled in darkness, I despair. The dimness penetrates deep within me, yet in the distance I catch a peripheral glimpse of a light. It's not like a far-off point of light, but a general ambient glare that penetrates the darkness. It is as if I'm locked within a luminous cloud of red-amber gas and dark gray dust. It refuses to clear and leaves everything blurred. I hear the mumblings of an old prophet. I almost know him, yet not. He's waiting at the gate. His gusts of prophetic wind blow mercilessly, but I can't quite make out what he is saying. And it seems as if I should think his words important, but they avoid my ears unheeded. The vague form of a face emerges from the void. I reach to focus, but only the shrouds of a death mask connect with my enveloped eyes. Their indistinct contours tumble and grow almost into view before broiling back away from my afflicted sight. Adrift in an uneasy haze, I stretch my mind to the utter reaches of the abyss and find nothing to greet me there. Weariness weighs heavy on my soul, and I know not why. The despondency of apathy envelops me. It leaves me unable to grasp any given moment, obscuring every instant into one another. I long for a clarity I scarcely remember and wonder, will it ever return? Did it ever really exist, or was it an illusion, even when I thought I once had it? That's it.
Now you left off at a delusion or illusion?
Illusion. Did it ever really exist, or was it an illusion, even when I thought I once had it? Yeah, that's the last line. But yeah, in many ways I think it describes that kind of uneasy, trapped kind of place, similar to what you described.
A lot of people feel differently and about themselves and others. And then I'm learning about the genetics and the Human Genome Project and the genes that we have and the meiosis and mitosis that happens. And that's a whole another thing of how you learn about disease and diagnosis. But just staying in the body, folks, be proactive. But at the same time, it's like people want to know how to get closer to source. And, while we're here, maybe that's not our mission, or maybe it is. And would you say that world religions feel like they should be finding a connection to source direct? Because, the Catholic Church especially always thought you had to go through a priest to get to God. Yeah. So we pretty much, worldly religions, the majority think it's okay to go direct to source, to God now,
well,
do you think?
In the Protestant denominations of Christianity, we find that as a concept, that idea of having a personal relationship with God. So it certainly is a feature that a lot of people talk about. And I think that is ultimately what we need to try to do, is to make it personal, to find that connection somehow to source, and revel in that connection, not just have it, but experience it. And that's not always easy to do, but I think to a combination of both prayer and meditation, the interesting thing about those two things is that they're not the same, but they have similarities. In the case of prayer, it's where you're talking to God. In the case of meditation, it's where you're listening.
And some people say meditation's just being empty, but they say be still and know. But, folks, every person will tell you something different. It depends on how they have an understanding. But communicating what you believe you know and understand, that's a totally different animal, or whatever you want to say the word. We have a team that I'm trying to build with communications in Americans, because my government, I live in America. So I've had other people speaking to me, especially in Spanish and Italian, through social media free, and they want to know me or think I'm pretty or smart or spiritual. But, a lot of them, because I'm interested in paranormal, extraterrestrial, UFO topics, and I'm trying to help people around the world find out more information. They want to know me, and that's wonderful and great. But the people that I'm choosing are people that make healthy choices. That I choose to be around people that don't smoke, but yet my daughters smoke. 3 out of 4 daughters smoke, which their father smoked. I don't know if it's in the genes or not, but I do know that he always, from the time he was in high school, he used to come smoke behind my house in the neighborhood. So that's not good. So, because finally they took most of them. They're still out there because my kids get them all the time. But make healthy choices is part of the open walk and the healthy walk. And it's just on my mind now, folks. So I'm just letting you know, have a healthy body and do what you can to sleep regularly and eat regularly and exercise regularly. Don't smoke, please. Try not to do alcohol. Wear sunscreen, because our skin, it really is different out there, the sun. So don't abuse drugs, whatever your doctor says, or even if you get prescribed, don't abuse those. And it says practice good hygiene, as part of our life. Eat nutritious foods and don't use steroids. But there's so much to do for your physical body. But what about our inside spirit? Now, open walk means not just do what's right for your physical body, but what do you put in your mind? What's your mind food? What's your manna? What's your God source? What comes from source? What do you fill your body with? If you keep your vessel clean and you're doing everything you can to sleep right and eat right, you have to make so much in this world to put your food on the table. But, manna from heaven, or manna from heaven, and the things that we have, the food of spirit. And I think Bill's written The Open Walk because there's something in him that wanted to share as an author, a way that maybe a self-help book. But you said it was your philosophy book. Because folks, we'd encourage you as authors to be the author of your own life story. And even my friend Janet sent me an email today wanting to know, she wants to get back with me, and she wants to figure out how we're going to be together. What are we going to do together? And how are we going to do this? How are we going to learn about each other and be with each other through cyberspace? Because she lives in Hawaii and I live in Florida. We have technology now, so science, technology, and I'm working with engineers, and she is now engineers. There's biomedical research and people like Bill that write these books. So, Bill, tell me again, it's a self-help and philosophy. Is this just good writing and communication on your part? Talk to me about this open walk.
You're right that it is kind of a self-help. It is And I also refer to it as a guidebook to the awakening age. It's something that can kind of help people along on this opened walk. And I think this paragraph that I'm about to read sums it up pretty well. The open walk is an ideology that embraces change over time, fully accepting refinement as new information comes to light. The willingness to refine stands as central to the approach of understanding. Face change without fear. Fear of change will never serve the seeker's quest. If you fear change, you will always live in fear. Since change is indeed constant. Embrace the flux that defines our reality. The late and edified Dr. Wayne Dyer suggested that each of us should have, and here's a quote, a mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing. Apply that sensitivity to your spiritual quest, and you will naturally be on the open walk. So I think that's important, is that the open walk is an ongoing process. You can't just do it for a while and then say, I've completed my task, because that goes against what the very open walk itself is. You have to constantly be open.
If you could help people have an open mind and not think they know it all, we need people in biomedical research, medicine, and my friends are journalists, and we use APA, American Psychological Association, for writers and journal. I'm a member of this, senior member of the Society of Professional Journalists. But people, if you want to write books, we have a publication manual for the American Psychological Association and how we write, and we'd love to have you work with us and learn how to cover speaking and writing, and there's rules, and people like to know that we do this properly. So American Psychological Association is a good book for writing and reference, and we invite you to write a book like Bill and have monthly meetings at a bookstore such as Books A Million or Barnes & Noble. Which one do you meet at for us, Bill, monthly? Where do you meet? Books A Million?
Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble. Okay. Good old Barnes & Noble. And you have it on a certain day of the week? Give people an idea, because we have meet and greet gatherings.
We're meeting once a month, second Friday of the month. That's the way it is right now. It's changed over time, but typically once a month is our schedule. And
how do you tell people to take action in their lives? Because, at least if they think they know something in their own mind, or they have beliefs thoroughly ingrained in their own mind about economy or nature or abundance or extinction, or if they think they're trying to help others, how do they take action in our group, Bill? Because you've been with me since you listen to my radio show, so we use this as a communication, and then we can help them get their thoughts together to maybe write a book, and that's the first step to getting out there and helping others. If you can't do anything else, is have a meeting once a month with other writers at a bookstore if you have one, or anywhere you can have a meet and greet. And we can help you advertise and find people or kindred spirits so you're not alone. We find that most people that are open-minded that want to take action, the first thing you do is go find people of kindred spirits and find people to converse with, because we know that on the planet that many of the people that have wound up doing very, very terrible things felt alone, separate from some source and from God and from individuals. They had no social skills. And it's, when I'm talking about some of the worst people that killed people, they had separated themselves from life. And some of them even were good church people, but they got lost in the dogma, or they took the opposite understanding of what being with others and